What's up, guys? It's Gary with Fresh from the Farm Fungi. It is our Fungi Friday number 25, so this is going to be the last of the spring season. Our first day at the farmers market is tomorrow, so if you want to catch us between 9 and 2 p.m., we're going to have about 100 pounds of mushrooms, and hopefully, that'll get us through the afternoon. But usually the first day they sell out pretty quickly, so if you're in the Denver area, come check us out at Cherry Creek Farmers Market on University and First. It's right in the Cherry Creek Shopping Center. But today I kind of wanted to go through the garden updates, and you can see my cat Bellini here is chomping down on some of the grass that is growing in our morel patch. So earlier today I went and checked some of our morel spots, and I happened to find some really early season morels. So typically they start popping, the end of April. It's April 30th, and it was the first morels of the year. I think it's a little bit later this year, but I just took the plastic off of our morel patch a couple days ago, and I've been watering it profusely in hopes of finding some pin formation. So I'll go ahead and start watering this. You can see very clearly that wherever our morel seed, the mycelium was, it generated some really good soil for the grass, and these wildflowers here. So there's a few things that I think I could do better for next year if we don't see any fruits. One of my plans is going to be isolating some of this native bacteria in the soil. So I'll be doing some research over the summer, and my plans is to grow out these roots of morel mushrooms in a non-selective broth like tryptic soy broth, and that way any bacteria that's in the soil will grow profusely, and then I can create cultures so that in the fall I'm going to expand this morel bed, and I want to get the healthy native bacteria from the soil growing with the mycelium. It could be affecting the morels somehow, but you can see behind us here I've got a shade cloth on one of our raised beds, so this is really helping with the sunny days here in Colorado. It kind of traps that humidity in, and as we go along, I haven't found any pin sets in this blonde morel patch, but you can come over here where there's a bunch of different species that I inoculated about a month ago. So you can see our hops are starting to take off, but right over here, this is the Blues Best kit. So you can see the mycelium, the morel mycelium here is really starting to, take off. So hopefully we'll continue to see some growth there. And then if you look really closely on the other side of this morchella right here, you can start to see what I think is sclerotia. But it's a little too early to tell, so I haven't been able to find any pictures of what morchella pins really look like. It kind of just looks like a gray blob. I'm hoping that that's a pin, and we'll see how that progresses. Now, it could be from this morchella conica or the morchella importuna, because they're both pretty much in the same vicinity. But I'll keep you guys updated. So someone asked a question about isolating the bacteria. All right, yeah, so someone asked about isolating the bacteria from the native soil. So first, I'm going to dilute the soil in that jar, just in sterile water. And then from that dilution, I'm going to inoculate it into a nutrient-rich broth called TSB, or tryptic soy broth. And that way, any bacteria present is gonna grow rapidly in that nutrient. And then from there, I'm going to plate it out on agar. And then I'm working on some new cryopreservation methods that I'll be doing over the summer as well. So I kind of wanted to lay out a preview of this summer. But one of the main projects is going to be how I can store my cultures long term better than slants. And in addition to that, I'll be exploring isolating those bacteria in culture. So as we come along the garden, we're gonna get to our King Stropharia bed. So you can see that this nice shade cloth, I haven't watered these yet today, and it feels still damp from yesterday. And you can see we've got some of the buckwheat starting to sprout, so that's gonna create a nice cover crop in the meantime until we get our sunflowers planted in this Stropharia bed. But I really like these shade cloths. It's like 20 bucks on Amazon, and it really cuts down on the watering. And you can see, if you want to come in closer here, some of this mycelium is reaching the surface. So I'm hopeful that we will start to see some fruits here, and I'll update you guys on that. So then as I come over to this Stropharia bed, you can also see the mycelium starting to reach the surface. So there's a pretty big rainstorm a couple days ago, and I'm hopeful that we'll get some fruits shortly here too. And you can see some of this buckwheat is starting to sprout, so I'm really excited for that. Once there's a nice cover crop, I won't have to be watering this bed as much. It's always good to just kind of dig down and see that healthy mycelium. So that was right on the edge, and I think as soon as these plants start to pop, it's really going to create that rigorous mycelium. Alright, and then if you want to come over here, this is the remnants of our rock roses. So you can see the squirrels dug at them, and all that's left are these tiny little nubs from whatever the squirrels didn't want to eat. So I do have 2 healthy plants left, and I'm going to attempt to propagate those by cloning. Maybe I can double them, or within the next couple months, when they get a little taller, I'm going to plant them along the rose bed here. So someone had suggested doing some chicken wire over this, and that's a really good idea, but there's already lots of bulbs planted, so I'm just gonna kind of wait and see how those sprout up, and maybe I can stick some of those rock roses in when there's other plants to distract from the squirrels. All right, so that kind of wraps it up. And then we've got our composter here that I'm gonna be using for our vegetable garden on the south side of our yard. So I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I'm gonna do some more videos sporadically throughout the season, but this is our last Fungi Friday because tomorrow is the first day of the farmers market. So I've got a bunch of work to cram in before tomorrow morning, and it'll probably be an early morning. But if anyone has any questions for me, feel free to ask now or comment below. For those of you who don't join in live, I still try to answer all the comments. So if you have any suggestions for videos in the upcoming year, I'll take those suggestions. And if you have any comments on, morel pins, I would love to see some pictures of some baby pin sets so I can compare what's popping up in our little patch over here. Is there any questions coming in? All right, guys, well, I've got a lot of work to do. Thanks for tuning in. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoy our videos. Subscribe if you're looking forward to more mycology videos like these. And until next time, much love.